Did you know that in the 1950s, it was considered normal for doctors to prescribe cigarettes for stress relief? Or that just 60 years ago, it was abnormal for women to have bank accounts without their husband's permission? What does that tell you about normal? When they say, get back to normal, what they're really saying is, get back in line. Normal isn't natural. Normal isn't neutral. Normal is negotiated. And you were never invited to the negotiation table. Today, we're tearing apart this concept of normality, this invisible prison that keeps you boxed in, obedient and productive for a system that wasn't designed for your freedom or fulfillment. Let's talk about school first. You know, that place where you spent over 15,000 hours of your childhood. Have you ever wondered why schools look almost identical to factories? The bells, the rigid schedules, the standardized tests, the straight lines. It's no coincidence. Our modern school system wasn't designed to create free thinkers. It was engineered during the Industrial Revolution to produce obedient factory workers. Listen to what William Torrey Harris, U.S. Commissioner of Education from 1889 to 1906, proudly declared, "The great purpose of school can be realized better in dark, airless, ugly places. It is to master the physical self, to transcend the beauty of nature. School should develop the power to withdraw from the external world." This isn't conspiracy, this is history. They train you to ask permission to speak, permission to use the bathroom, permission to exist in space. And then they wonder why, as adults, you don't question authority. Now think about how you measure success in school. Is it about genuine curiosity, creative thinking, ethical reasoning? Or is it about memorizing what you're told, regurgitating it on command, and never disrupting the system? And the strangest part? We've internalized it so deeply that we perpetuate it. We define good kids as the quiet ones, the compliant ones, the ones who don't cause trouble, the ones who fit in, the normal ones. But let's shift gears. Let's talk about work. That place where you'll spend roughly 90,000 hours of your adult life. Have you ever stopped to question why a 40-hour work week is normal? Why 5 days on, 2 days off is the unquestioned rhythm of modern existence? Do you think that schedule was designed around human flourishing and well-being? The 40-hour work week wasn't handed down from the heavens. It was a hard-won compromise after workers literally died fighting against 80-hour work weeks during the labor movements of the 19th and early 20th centuries. But here's the thing. That normal was established before computers, before automation, before AI, before productivity multiplied exponentially. So why are we still clinging to it? And what about that normal career path? College, debt, cubicle, mortgage, retirement at 65. If you're lucky, programmed obsolescence. Have you ever felt like a hamster on a wheel, running faster and faster just to stay in place? That's not an accident. That's design. As philosopher Mark Fisher wrote, "It's easier to imagine the end of the world than the end of capitalism." Why? Because normal has a stranglehold on our imagination. But here's where it gets insidious. We don't just accept these norms, we defend them. We shame those who step outside them. We become the prison guards of our own confinement. When someone quits the rat race to live simply, what do we call them? Lazy, irresponsible, unrealistic. When someone questions the school system, what's the response? That's just how the world works. When someone refuses to participate in toxic workplaces, they're not a team player. The system doesn't need guns or guards when we police each other this effectively. Let's dig deeper into the normal family structure. The nuclear family, mom, dad, 2.5 kids, became the dominant model only in the 1950s, yet we treat it as if it's been the natural order since the dawn of time. For most of human history, we raised children communally. Multiple generations lived together. The idea that two isolated adults should bear the entire burden of child-rearing while also working full-time jobs is a recipe for burnout, not flourishing. Yet we pathologize alternative arrangements. We judge single parents. We question the childless. We isolate elders in care facilities. We call multi-generational households crowded. Anthropologist David Graeber asks, how did we end up in a society where the value of our work seems in inverse proportion to how much it actually benefits others? Think about it. The people who care for children, the sick and the elderly, Some of the most essential work for human flourishing are paid a fraction of what those who manipulate abstract financial instruments make. Is that normal, or is that absurd? But the true genius of this system of control isn't in forcing compliance, it's in making you believe you chose it freely. Philosopher Slavoj Žižek points out, the true aim of totalitarian control is not just to make you obey, but to make you enjoy your obedience, to desire it. That's why the most dangerous question you can ask in our society isn't, how do I succeed within the system? But why is the system built this way at all? Let's look at how normal functions as social control in our daily lives. Consider how we pathologize natural human emotions. Sadness becomes depression. Excitement becomes ADHD. Nonconformity becomes oppositional defiant disorder. I'm not denying the reality of mental illness, but I am questioning a system that's quicker to medicate a child who can't sit still for 8 hours than to question whether children should be forced to sit still for 8 hours. The average American now spends over 11 hours per day consuming media. Is that normal? Or is that a population sedated into compliance? The ancient Greeks had a concept called doxa, the common belief or popular opinion, the unexamined assumptions that everyone accepts without question. Fighting against doxa was the entire purpose of philosophy. As Socrates said before they executed him for corrupting the youth, the unexamined life is not worth living. But examination is dangerous. Questions are dangerous, because once you start pulling at the threads of normal, the whole tapestry might unravel. Have you noticed how quickly society pathologizes resistance? If you question consumerism, you're ungrateful. If you question the work week, you're lazy. If you question authority, you're a troublemaker. These aren't rational responses. They're defense mechanisms of a system protecting itself. French philosopher Michel Foucault argued that modern power doesn't operate primarily through violence or coercion, but through normalization, establishing the boundaries of what's acceptable, reasonable, sane. Those boundaries become invisible prisons, all the more effective because the prisoners police themselves. So what do we do with this understanding? How do we break free? First, we must recognize that the most effective chains are the ones you don't know you're wearing. Awareness is the beginning of liberation. Second, we must question everything we've been told is just the way things are. History is full of normals that were later revealed as barbaric. What current normals will our descendants judge us for accepting? Third, we must find community. The system isolates dissenters because isolated dissent is ineffective. But collective questioning has changed the world time and again. Finally, we must create alternatives. Criticism without creation leaves us nowhere to go. We need new models of education, work, family, and community that prioritize human flourishing over compliance and extraction. As anthropologist Margaret Mead supposedly said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Your life doesn't have to be normal. It just has to be yours. The next time someone tells you to get back to normal, remember what they're really saying. Get back in line, stop asking questions, accept your confinement. And then ask yourself, who benefits from my obedience? Who profits from my compliance? The answers might just set you free. Thanks for watching.